Right. Recording can start. Please tell your friends to join as soon as possible. We are going to start. We are already starting after 3:30. Arihant is there? Arihant?
Yes, sir.
You told everyone to join by 3:30?
Yes, sir. I have told them.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Shall we start? Shall we start?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Slides are visible. Can you see the slides?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So we'll be finishing early only. So please be focused during the class. So today's actually practical demonstration is not possible online. So I will be covering only the initial lecture about the bleeding time and clotting time. When you will be coming to the college, coming to the department after the lockdown, when the offline classes will be started, that time we will show you, we will demonstrate you how to do the procedure, how to do the practical, how to proceed for the proceedings, and you will be doing for yourself also. So starting with apparatus needed to do the bleeding time and clotting time, we need four things: pricking apparatus on a needle, filter paper we need thin capillary tube and stopwatch. Pricking apparatus, filter paper, stopwatch, these three needed for bleeding time, and pricking apparatus, thin capillary tube and stopwatch needed for clotting time. Filter paper is not needed for clotting time and capillary tube is not needed in bleeding time. So coming to the introductory part, what is actually bleeding time and clotting time? Bleeding time is the time taken from the puncture of the blood vessel to the stoppage of bleeding. So suppose I like after the puncture, you did one capillary puncture on your index finger or middle finger or ring finger. Anywhere you have done the puncture, the bleeding will be started. Till the bleeding is stopped, it is called, this time is called as bleeding time. So then what is clotting time? Clotting time is the time taken from the puncture of the blood vessel to the formation of a fibrin thread. So till the bleeding stop, it is bleeding time. But till a fibrin clot is formed, it's called as clotting time. Is it clear? Coming to the procedure for estimation of bleeding time, there are two methods. The commonly used method is Duke's method. Another method is Ivy's method. So in Duke's method, what we do, we set the stopwatch at 0. The tip of the finger is cleaned thoroughly with spirit and allowed to dry. The finger of choice is always left ring finger. Make a puncture deep enough, like make a bold and gentle prick. Make a puncture deep enough to ensure free flow of blood without squeezing. Don't squeeze for extra blood. Just make a gentle and bold prick as deep as enough to ensure free flow of blood. Don't squeeze the area in this procedure. I have seen so many of you have done squeezing during the RBC count practical, WBC count practical, but their error you may find. But here, if you do the in bleeding time or clotting time practical, if you squeeze the area, the error will be much time multiplied. So don't squeeze the area. So set the stopwatch at 0. The tip of the ring finger is cleaned thoroughly with spirit and allowed to dry. Make a puncture deep enough to ensure free flow of blood without squeezing. Immediately start the stopwatch. The time of puncture of the finger is referred as 0 time. So at 0 time you have punctured. After that, what you will do, every 30 seconds you will be put one mark on the filter paper. 30 seconds later, escaping blood is dried on the edge of the clean piece of the filter paper. Repeat the procedure every 30 seconds using a fresh area of the filter paper on each occasion until bleeding ceases and no further blood spot appears on the filter paper. Each blot of blood on the filter paper represents 30-second flow of the blood. Count the total number of blood spots on the filter paper and multiply it by 1 by 2. This gives the bleeding time in minutes. So suppose at 0 time you have done the puncture, and after that you are every 30 seconds you are putting your finger on the edge of the filter paper every time a fresh area of the filter paper. So suppose you got total 7 spots, blood spots. At the 8th spot, blood spot is not there. 8th area blood spot is not there. So count this number of this by divided by 2. So total will be for 7 3.5. So 3 minutes 30 seconds. So normal bleeding time method by this normal bleeding time by this method is 2 to 6 minutes. It is the most commonly used method, Duke's method. The other method is Ivy's method. By that method, the normal bleeding time is 3 to 6 minutes. Always remember, whenever you are saying bleeding time and clotting time, normal values, always mention which method. See, if you are doing by Ivy's method and it came 2 minutes, that means bleeding time is less. But if you are doing by Duke's method and bleeding time came 2 minutes, it is normal. So method is very important. Always, if the examiner is in the exam, ask you, tell me the normal value of the bleeding time of an adult, then you should say 2 to 6 minutes by Duke's method. Don't say only 2 to 6 minutes. Only 50% mark you will get if you say 2 to 6 minutes. You should always say normal bleeding time for average adult is 2 to 6 minutes by Duke's method. Clear? Should I move?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So coming to the clotting time. Here also there are two methods. One is capillary glass tube method, another is Lee and White method. Here we do the most commonly used method is capillary glass tube method. Set the stopwatch at 0. The first three steps is as similar as the bleeding time step. Set the stopwatch at 0. The tip of the finger is cleaned thoroughly with spirit and allowed to dry. Make a puncture deep enough to ensure free flow of blood without squeezing. Immediately start the stopwatch. Time of puncture of finger is referred as 0 time. When a large drop of blood has collected, introduce the end of the capillary tube into the drop. Holding the tube such as its other end is at lower level. Blood flows rapidly in the capillary tube. So what will you do after the puncture? There is a capillary tube will be provided to you. Just touch the capillary tube to the blood spot. By the gravitational flow, it will go through the capillary tube. So hold the tube filled with blood in palm of the hand so as to give it at body temperature. At the end of 1 minute, break off about 1 centimeter of the tube from one end and notice if a thread of fibrin connects the broken ends of the tube. If there is no fibrin thread, repeat the procedure every 30 seconds till fibrin thread appears. The appearance of fibrin thread of about 5 millimeter length indicates the blood has been clotted. So what basically you have to do, you have to puncture the tip of the finger. The blood will come. At that blood, you will just touch the capillary tube, and the blood will go through the capillary tube by the gravitational flow. The time you punctured, it is 0 time. After 1 minute of puncture, the capillary tube 1 centimeter you will break. Every 30 seconds you are going to break the capillary tube till you see a fibrin thread of minimum 5 millimeter long connecting the both ended of the broken capillary tube. The total time taken from 0 time till fibrin formation is the clotting time. Here the normal value by this method at 37 degree centigrade temperature, that is room temperature, is 3 to 8 minutes. The other method which is not so commonly used is Lee and White method. By this method, the normal bleeding time, if you take the glass tube, it is 6 to 12 minutes. If you take the silicone tube, it is 20 to 60 minutes. So here also always remember, I am asking you in the exam that tell me the normal clotting time. You are saying 3 to 8 minutes. Now it is my wish I should give you mark or not, because you haven't mentioned the procedure. I haven't asked tell me the normal values of clotting time by capillary glass tube method. If examiner is asking you specifically tell me the clotting time by capillary glass tube method, then you should tell it is 3 to 8 minute in capillary glass tube method. Otherwise always mention the method by which you are telling the normal value, because you are seeing that Lee and White method there, although it is not commonly used, but if it is Viva it is asked, then Lee and White method is 6 to 12 in glass tube and silicon tube is 20 to 60, and here which we are doing here is only 3 to 8 minutes. Method to method it differ. That's why you should always mention that the normal clotting time is 3 to 8 minutes at 37 degrees Celsius in capillary glass tube method. Is it clear? Any confusion? Any confusion?
No,
No,
sir.
No,
sir.
sir.
No.
See, this practical, when you'll be coming to the offline classes, will demonstrate you. Always remember, 50% student will get in their hematology practical will either get bleeding time or clotting time as their short hematology case in the university examination. Your senior batch also got. So it is very important practical. Don't dare to miss the this practical theory part of the uh, this practical class. Don't dare to miss, and it is very important practical as exam point of view. So coming to the factors on which now see practical is finished. Now let's discuss some question which is frequently asked by the external examiner during the exam. On this case, factors on which bleeding time and clotting time depend. See, bleeding time factors depending is condition of the vessel wall, formation of temporary hemostatic plug, and temperature. For clotting time, presence of all clotting factors and temperature. These are the factors which regulate, or these are the factors on which bleeding time and clotting time depend. Altered bleeding time and clotting time. Bleeding time prolongs when decreased platelet count is there, as you can see in thrombocytopenic purpura. Number two, abnormalities or weakness in the walls of the capillaries, as in purpura hemorrhagia, or when temperature increases. It delays the contraction of the vessel wall. Conversely, bleeding time decreases with a decrease in temperature. Number three, always notice frequent. Nowadays, we are seeing that serious COVID cases, like who are saturation down and everything, we are giving them anticoagulant, so that their blood doesn't get thickened. So temperature is one thing which regulate both bleeding time and clotting time. So the blood should be always kept in room temperature. Clotting time prolongs when deficiency of clotting factors, hemophilia being the most common condition seen, which is due to the deficiency of factor 8. Vitamin K deficiency, it is required for the synthesis of factor 2, 7, 9, 10 in the liver, and anticoagulant overdose. These are the three things where clotting time prolongs. Thank you. Any question, any query? Any query?
No, sir.
Only 86 students present today's class. All of you have done very well in your first IA exam. No failure in physiology department till now. We again revised the result. We got 7 distinction, no failure, 100% pass. So we hope you carry your good result throughout the year. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.